So you're
Really
running it this time, huh?
You really
This is Tilted Podcast.
Oh, yes. Football's been great. Terrible for betting.
What up?
Terrible for the betting scene for multiple reasons on college and football, or the NFL, excuse me. College and NFL has been awful if you've been betting on certain teams. They've been letting us down left and right, but it's all right. It's been a wonderful time of year to see the change in college football. I'm going to guess you guys agree. College football has been fucking off the hook and awesome every week.
been
It's
great.
something new. It has definitely this 12 team playoff has changed everything. Like all bets are off. Teams are playing their hearts out. If we can knock you out, we're knocking you out. If we have a chance to make it, we're going to make it. And I will say fuck Notre Dame because they're going to get a free walk into the playoffs. In my opinion.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
all they gotta do is win every game here on out, bro, and they're gonna get in.
Yeah,
It's a joke.
I think that's easier. I think that's easier said than done, though.
I don't disagree, but it's still a joke. Like you got teams out here facing number 3 versus the number 4, and they may go lose a bowl game or their big, their championship game and be knocked out of the playoffs because of it. And Notre Dame is not going to have to play a championship game, and they're going to get a free spot. Kind of trash, in my opinion, but whatever.
Maybe,
Hey,
maybe your Trojans will have something to say about that.
Yeah, I hope. But
I think they could. They're talented enough. They're just been playing like shit,
Yeah.
You
But
don't think you don't think they can do it?
I think they could. I think the problem is their offense is a little. It's kind of like OU. Defense looks great. Offense looks absolutely dog shit. Like OU's defense has done a full flip. But before we dive way too deep into college, let's talk a little MLB. I mean, we're kind of settling in. Dodgers World Series champions, get to live on that one for the next year.
Yes.
What about some off? I mean, there's already been some signings and some thoughts of where Soto's going. I heard today that he went to Boston and is like in love with Boston. Like they showed him and gave him a number, and they told him, and just everything he said was pretty amazing. Was the words out of his mouth or something along that line.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, this is also coming from some media guy that probably heard secondhand. But
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think he's gonna go to the highest bidder, if you ask me.
yeah,
I mean, unless it's like I don't think he's gonna go to the Oakland A's or I guess whatever they are now. Like if they were the highest bidder, I don't think he'd go there. But I think it wouldn't surprise me if at all if he ended up in like a Kansas City or somewhere or maybe in Baltimore or someone that if they would pay him enough. But I don't think he's gonna like trip on being in a big market and stuff like that. But I could be wrong.
yeah.
No,
He said,
I mean he's going to want to be on the East Coast. That would be his preference.
Yeah.
I do know that.
I mean,
that is true.
So that's a preference, right? So, if you're comparing the same contract, right, with let's say the Mets and a West Coast team, the Dodgers, I don't want that to happen, but let's say that happens because a lot of people are saying they're gonna put up a big number. But I think if it's the same, he's gonna go East Coast and he would pick the Mets or the Yankees, or the Orioles if they ponied up. But I wouldn't expect them to be honest.
I know the
I guess,
rumor.
Brad, why would you not want it? Like, I get like the idea, like, hey, you could spend money in other areas. They don't need them, but like, it's
Why do I
fucking
not want
cool.
Soto on the Dodgers?
Yeah, why
Well,
would you not
first
want him?
thing, defense. I mean, I mean, one of the things that the Dodgers do is play defense, right? And he's a defensive liability. He is. I mean, let's think about some of the plays in the World Series. We watched it in front of us. We capitalized on it. So, I mean, obviously adding him in the lineup is ridiculous, right? And if they sign him, they sign him, and I'm going to be, happy as far as inserting him in there. And that may be one of the reasons why Mookie's moving to the infield again. But I myself would rather them sign Teo, spread a few things out, make sure they're able to make sure they can lock down the right pitching. Teo,
I agree.
he's a Teo made a big difference in the clubhouse, right? I mean, I think you could see that. So I don't know. I would rather them spread that money out a little bit. We've already got a lot of money invested, but right with Shohei's contract last year, we still have the ability to do something like this. So it wouldn't completely surprise me.
Well,
Yeah, I think I want Teo to be signed for sure. I would love to see Walker back just because he's a homegrown dude. But
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't disagree. I actually would, if I don't really care if he signed, would love for him to stay in the AL. Obviously, would love for him not to sign with anybody in the National League, which I don't think he's going to. But well, I mean, I guess it could be the Mets. But
Yep.
I'm thinking Yankees, someone Boston, something like that. But I was just wanting to know like why, because I don't want him to either. But it's also like if they were to, I'd be like, well, that's cool,
Totally. I mean, you can't be mad. It's Juan Soto.
Yeah,
But
Right.
I would rather them go after Max Fried.
I'm about to
Um,
say, yeah, it's a numbers game.
I'd rather spread it out, right? And we've got a lot of money. I would rather spread it out. I would love to see Max Fried in a Dodger jersey and add Sasaki. And man, if you can do that in Teo, and good Lord.
I mean, like, you just look at
Mm.
the 40 roster right now, and they're already stacked, like
Yep.
ridiculously stacked, and we're missing pieces left and right. Like I mean, once again, Juan Soto, who would not want to see him on your team? The dude is a game changer. He's a top 5 player in the league. Like, he's easily a guy. He just is. I did like the compilation that got produced right after the World Series, showing his outfield abilities during the playoffs. It was not very good. There was a lot of mistakes.
Did I miss something against the Dodgers with him? Because I kind of
He-
thought it was obviously Judge with the big drop. Did I miss something? I
He
didn't
had a
watch a lot of the
few-
Yankees games prior
Yeah.
to the World Series.
He
He had
takes
a-
horrible angles, man.
Yeah,
He
he
does
had a really
not go
bad
to the
angle.
ball. Yeah,
Really
he takes
bad
bad
angle.
angles. Balls move around. A ball that should be a
Yeah.
simple single turned into a double. Double turns into a triple. He does it all the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's
just
not
one
I
of
don't
his
watch enough
weaknesses.
Yankees. I don't watch enough of them. That's why.
I think Teo. I think you can get Teo for what, third, maybe even half the price of what he's going to cost you for Juan Soto. I know Teo's going to get paid.
It's
gonna
probably
be
going to be about
close.
2/3 to a half.
Yeah, 2/3 to half.
So I know you put on, like, I asked about the qualifying offer. I don't really understand what that means, Brad. Can you elaborate on that?
The qualifying offer basically I don't know the exact. I could look it up, and I've read on it before. I might actually have it here. But basically the way the number is come up with is they take the top 125 salaries in Major League Baseball, and they get to the mean. And last year it was 17 million. This year it's 21 million. And so that's kind of why, Bueller doesn't get the $21 million offer. He's not going to get that much in the market. But Teo is definitely going to get at least that. From what I understand, you can only get the contract, the qualifying offer once, and it might only be in your career. I know a team can only give it to you once. It might be in your career as well. Um, and so, which players are eligible? It's players who have never received it, so you can only get it once in your career, and players that have spent the entire season on that team's roster. So there's different stipulations to it. There's a lot to it, but players can only get it once in their career. It's based off the top 125 contracts, the mean. And so that's why obviously Teo's worth 125. I mean, worth 21 million a year easily.
Yeah.
And I just don't see Bueller getting that much, right? So that's the reason why he gets it and Bueller doesn't. And there's
So it's
usually
like
only like one or two guys that are really up for something like this per team. So there's really not that many guys that it happens with.
So it's like the MLB version of like a franchise tag,
Almost,
right?
yeah.
But you can't force him to sign the qualifying offer. Whereas if you franchise tag him in the NFL, you're pretty much contractually obligated. He's yours regardless.
Yes.
So is it a 1-year deal similar to a franchise tag?
It would be a 1-year deal. Most of these guys don't sign them, but it kind of, most of them don't accept it. But it kind of, I don't know the best way to. It's a mess, to be honest. So it's confusing for everybody. But that's kind of the way they come up with it. You can only get once in your career. So Teo will never see it again. Bueller will never see it again. Well, I guess Bueller didn't get it, so it could happen again.
And that answers my other question is like when I heard initially, because I didn't know anything about the qualifying offer. Initially, when I heard Teo got it and Bueller didn't, I go, well, shit, what does that mean for Bueller? Does that mean he's like they're not interested in signing him or whatever? But basically, it's not average by position; it's average overall for the MLB, and he's not going to get a $21 million deal. So that makes total sense.
Yeah, and you would think
Okay.
that Teo's going to get more than that, right? So,
Yeah, I was thinking he's probably going to be somewhere around like a 3-year 80, 3-year 85, 3-year 75, something like that. What do you think?
uh, I mean, there's rumors like 3 years, 72, 75. So I mean, I could see it going up there.
He's
Wonder
32, so that would take him to 35 years old. So
take
that
him to
makes sense.
35. That's probably about the max, somewhere in there. 2, 3 years.
He's probably going to
Uh,
push for a 4th-year option in somewhere, like a player option, something like that.
yep.
It's good times. A lot of.
What about when? So when is Sasaki going to get posted? Like I heard someone talking about there's rumors about potentially a deal already being done, but they're like they can't formally say that because he's not even posted yet. But like Dodgers are obviously the heavy favorite. Do we know when this posting's supposed to happen?
Have you seen anything, Horton? I don't know the
I have
exact date. I
not.
don't think there's like a.
See if I can
I don't
find
think
anything.
there's a set date. I just think that this is kind of what I've heard and what people think is going on, right? Because he's giving up so much money. People think that when he signed with that franchise originally out of high school, that there was already a deal in place, right? Like, I'll sign with you now, but you're going to let me out early because I want to go to the MLB early, right? He's 23. So I think it might be a deal that was kind of already agreed to because it doesn't really make sense for them to let him go right now. They're giving up a lot of money, right? So it's almost like a deal has been agreed to for that for sure before. So that's what's letting him out. I would expect it within the next couple of weeks, is what I would think, because then you have 30 to 45 days to get signed with a team. So I,
Yeah,
I
that's
would
what it says
expect,
here. It
Said
says
they already posted him, but that he's going to be announced. They just haven't done it yet.
yeah.
yeah, so
So
he's likely to be posted sometime in December, so that a 45-day signing window will stretch into the next international bonus pool year that
yes,
begins January 15th.
there you go. So that opens up more money, right? And he's not going to get a lot. It's a minor league contract, but um,
He's going to
he's
get the
doing it.
Otani deal, right?
He's doing exactly what Shohei did. He's coming early. He's doing the opposite of Yamamoto. Yamamoto waited to get the contract right, and that benefited his team. He's doing just what Shohei did.
This dude
He's saying, "I want to go."
he turned 23 on November 3rd. It was
He is gonna.
104 miles an hour.
Y'all. His breaking ball. His stuff is ridiculous. To watch him pitch is so much fun.
I sat there for 30 minutes and watched a couple of his complete games and just the way he dominates. It's
It's gonna be fun.
obviously the transition from the Japanese league to the MLB it does take a little toll on that. It's a lot more talent here, right? But he just looks. We thought Otani looked good pitching. This guy looks better, like way better. Like but that's what he focuses on is pitching. Otani was everything.
Right.
Otani was putting
So
holes in the dome, and
Yeah. I know that they're like the contract is a minor league contract, but don't they have to pay like a certain amount of money just to talk to him? Like I remember that kind of being a thing like with Otani back in the day, like X amount of millions of dollars just to even negotiate with them.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, the posting fee is the posting fee, and that's why them letting him go early is kind of a surprise because it goes up the longer he's there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can find the exact fee. Uh, Contract worth less 25 million, 20% of contract value. I think it's a lot of it's broke down on how many years he's going to be there, right? How many years he's been with
Yeah.
who he's with. So it's different, I think, for every person. But I know the
Yeah.
longer he's there, they're losing money by letting him go for sure. So, but it is what it is, man. He wants out, and they say they're going to do it.
That is wild. I'm looking at so his original contract with the Angels, he got a $2 million. This is Otani. Got a $2 million signing bonus in 2017. After that, he made $500,000 for the next 2 years. It was like 545, 650. In 2020, obviously, it was a short year. He made $250,000. And then after that, it ramped up. He had signed a 2-year, $8.5 million deal with them, and it was 3 million, 5 million, and then in 2023 he made $30 million a year. So it is no money. It's not going to cost them shit to get that guy.
Hey, and Shohei only
Mm.
made $2 million last year. What a joke!
I
I
know.
still can't. I still can't believe his contract. All right,
But you
But-
say
but no,
that. Hold on. You say
I
that.
got it.
There's a number
ahead.
though behind that. He made 80 million just in all of his endorsements. 80 million. That's what he said. He goes, I don't need the money. He's all
He
paying
is so
shit for
brilliant.
100 years. I'll make the money on the side. Like, let's
What's
go win
so
some
funny is
championships.
I'm sitting here looking at Shohei Ohtani's contract. It's like 2025, 2 million, 2026, 2 million, all the way to 2023. After that, it's $68 million, $68 million, $68 million, all the way through 2043.
Yep.
Holy shit. That is crazy.
Hey, it'll be a different owner too. You watch.
And
Oh, yeah. Hell
well,
yeah.
and they'll restructure that contract, and he'll get one
For
of
sure.
those. He'll get one of those weird ones where they'll pay him for 30 fucking years, and we're as Dodger fans, the next 10 years, hopefully they're gonna be awesome, and then we're gonna have nothing for 20 years. Like, just we'll be owing the 2025 to the 2035
I don't know,
years.
man. I don't know because I mean, imagine how much money they generated this year off of having him, man. I mean,
Yeah, it's ridiculous,
right? Let alone just in jerseys and right, like I don't know. It's. I
All
think
the
it's. I
sushi
think
they're
it's.
selling at Dodger Stadium.
I
Oh
think
my
there is
God.
money well spent. That's money well spent. But
I agree.
all right, we've talked about Dodger
Yeah,
baseball
and
for
they
hours.
finagle, man. They finagle numbers, same as NFL. Like the way that numbers get produced and moved and budgeted, like with big teams that got big markets, they make backdoor deals that just make more money to like settle debts. It's crazy to watch.
Well,
It's insane.
they're banking a lot of this money from the World Series run and all this shit, and they're putting it into an account, and they're like, when 2034 hits and he's retired, it's like, all right, dude, I know we owe you whatever it is, right? Like here's 300 million. Let's get rolling. They'll be okay. I don't think it'll affect the team too much.
Well, I mean, it's funny we talked about it because like the Niners are having money, like they're like everybody's like, oh, they got money issues, they're not gonna be able to pay anybody, and they turn around and sign Diamador Lenore to a fucking 92 million 5-year contract. Like, where'd that money come from? But when you make money, that you can finagle it. It's just how it is. So
Because you could do more if you're a heavy cash flow team, you can do more like kick it down the road stuff.
Yep.
Right, like back to money, like the Rams did a lot of it, right? But what happens when you put those guaranteed contract, that money has to be in an escrow account. Like that money has to be there. So if you're like someone like, I don't know, like the Jaguars or the Raiders when they were in Oakland, they're not a heavy cash flow team, so they couldn't give some of those big ass guaranteed contracts because they didn't have a lot of the liquid funds to throw into an escrow account to pay these guys. Like the Browns had to do that shit when they signed douchebag and they put him in and they had to put that $200 million or whatever into an escrow account. So it's kind of goofy when all these things happen. Cause like if you're a heavy cash flow team, like the Rams were when they went and going to the Super Bowl and just moved to LA, or you're like the Niners that are always in the playoffs or Super Bowls or whatever's going on. Like you're generating all these playoff money and you're able to throw that money in there. But if you're fucking the Oakland Raiders playing with fucking rats in your drink dispenser, you're probably not going to have the heavy cash flow team.
Well, you know where the downfall with Watson was, right? There was a no massage clause in there, so that's why he sucking ass.
What a fucking weirdo.
Well,
man.
let's get into the big one we're going to want to talk about, because what a time to be damn alive. I keep saying every week I can say it because it has completely changed again. And it's crazy. I love this 12-team playoff that we're about to have here soon. And it's coming quick.
So awesome.
Coming so quick. So I'll let.
I wish my team was in it, man.
Yeah.
I wish my team was in this shit, Brad. This shit's gonna be so fun for you, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
If we make it, shit.
You'll make it. What's your schedule the rest of the way out?
It's pretty easy, but still, we got Mercer, Oklahoma, and Auburn. But still, man.
Oh, you're playing like a high school team right now this week, I think, right?
Yeah. We play Mercer. So
yeah, I'm really liking Boise. I'm loving Boise, man. I don't know if they could pull the upset against that 5 seed when they get in, but I really like that squad.
I think they're clearly the going to be the team, right, that gets in that 5th spot. I do,
Yep,
or
I
that extra
100%
spot.
agree.
So obviously, Georgia, this week. I know there's been a lot of
Grab him out,
uproar,
pussy.
right, about the rankings, right? So I guess we need to hit the rankings first before we start talking about matchups. But there's a lot of people complaining about Georgia not being in. The interesting part is, like, if you go to ESPN's rankings, Georgia's sitting at 12 and Boise's at 13. So, and Boise's the one going to get in. It's pretty much what's on that board. But people are still in an uproar. I know that, Texas really hasn't beat anybody. Best team they beat is Vanderbilt. There's a lot of, you know, reasons to break things down and complain, right? Miami's had a lot of close games and, but they're still in the driver's seat to win their conference. I don't know. I know a lot of people have been pissed off about the rankings and complaining about it, but I don't see how you could have Georgia in this particular week right now.
Yeah.
They just lost to Ole Miss, they lost to Alabama, and those are teams that are, 10 and 11 in the ESPN poll. Georgia's 12. I think they should be below them. So that part kind of makes sense now. Where does this go is a completely different deal, right? Obviously, if Georgia loses this week, they're done, right?
I agree.
Tennessee loses this week, they're only a 2-loss team. They have a chance to stick in there, right? So it's going to be interesting to see week to week kind of what they do. The committee.
The scenario that I think is going to get real weird here shortly, and there's a group of teams in here that I think if we all agree, if Notre Dame loses one more, they're done. I don't think they should be in there anyway. I think a 2-loss Georgia team should be over a 1-loss Notre Dame team.
Yeah.
But the teams that stick out to me the most is, like, what do you do with the 1-loss BYU or a 1-loss Indiana? Like, are they really like Indiana's ranked 7th? So you're telling me they drop to Ohio State, they get boat race next week in Ohio State, and they're really going to stick in above a 2-loss Georgia?
I think,
don't see that shit.
I don't see that in the end. They haven't beat nobody, right? So I think if they go in and get the shit kicked out of them, like you think, I think that kind of proves that. I don't know. That's what's going to be fun about these next few weeks, these matchups that, normally wouldn't mean anything, right? But if Ohio State goes in and, beats them 40-7, right? It's going to matter this year, I would think. What's up, boys?
What's up, man? And then for me, it's like, you can complain all you want about Georgia, like everybody that's a Georgia fan or whatever. They control their own destiny.
Yes, they do.
They beat Tennessee, they win out, they'll be in. Now you lose to Tennessee, you get your ass to 3 losses. Don't complain. Like 3 losses. What are you gonna do? Should have beat Ole Miss.
It's kind of weird to look like. I went back to look at Indiana's. Indiana hasn't played nobody. You're not wrong.
Nobody.
They have the 100th ranked strength of schedule.
But
it's a joke.
The question is if they go beat Ohio, I think we're like, oh well, shit. What do you do? And then they turn around and go lose in the championship game. I think that
then you're 100. Then you're 100% in. You're a 1-loss.
They're in if they beat Ohio State. They're
but
in.
If they lose to Ohio State, I still think that they can. They're still going to be in the. Well, no, Ohio would be over them.
Oh yeah, it'll
Ohio
be
would
Ohio
be
State,
over them.
Oregon. So that's where it gets real weird. If you go get your ass kicked by Ohio State, and then you're sitting at like 10. So here's a scenario I want to think about. Like, let's imagine Indiana losing to Ohio State, and then Ole Miss, Georgia, and Alabama hold court the rest of the way. You're really going to put a 1-loss Indiana team in over a 2-loss Tennessee, Alabama, Ole Miss, or Georgia? I don't see it.
I don't think so.
I don't see it either.
I don't think so either. Yeah. So I would expect if they lose next week, they plummet and they're out, and people are going to go crazy because there's 2-loss SEC teams. But it's like, well, fuck, the SEC is better than Indiana.
Well, am I thinking correct? Isn't Penn State? I think a lot of people were upset with them too, right? They've really only played one game, if I remember correctly, and that's when they got the shit kicked out of them by Ohio State.
Well, it was only it was a 1-score game. It was like 20-13. It was a pretty damn good game.
It was 20 to
And
13.
Looking at their
But-
schedule, they haven't played nobody really either.
Well, no
It's
doubt, you're right.
interesting.
You're right about that. But they
Oh,
and they had the
man.
ball on goal to go to tie the damn game. So yeah, they haven't played anybody either. But if you look at Ohio State, if Ohio State's really that high rated of a team, and they took them down to the wire and had a chance to win that game, so it's like they probably deserve to be in there.
This is just
But-
so odd. There's good teams in the Big Ten. How have they not played each other, right? It's just so weird.
Yeah,
The way things
it's
have worked
wild.
out schedule wise that we're at this point and they really haven't played anybody.
Well, I
There's
mean,
some good teams in the Big Ten.
you got to look. You got to look. They have played people. They're just not good this year. UCLA,
Well-
Wisconsin, Washington, USC. Those last 3 years. Those teams have all been in the top 25 at some point. They're just not good this year. UCLA, Wisconsin, Washington, and USC are just not playing to that potential. Like if those were all 4 ranked teams that were playing really well and Penn State beat them all, now you're looking at a different story. It's just kind of weird how teams fall through the cracks when they got one loss, and you get these big teams losing 2 games. Like you're looking at Georgia with 2 losses. Like, it just doesn't happen as often, and it's been a weird year. It's been a fucking weird year for sure.
This is one of the products of having such a big ass conference, right? What are we talking about in the Big Ten now? 16, 18 teams?
It's up
Something,
there, yeah.
right? So you could have this year where these teams don't play each other, but you still have some good teams in that conference. There's 4 or 5 really good teams, but somehow, some way, the way the schedules work this year, they haven't played each other. It's just odd.
Yeah.
But
I'm looking at it too. It's like so they played Ohio State, but then the rest of their schedule is pretty cake. Like they go to Purdue and then they go to Minnesota. Minnesota's no joke. Minnesota's played some tough teams and they've won some big games. Minnesota had. They beat USC. They took Michigan down to the wire. Those types of things. And then they play at home against Maryland to finish. So they're probably going to be a 1-loss team with no conference championship game because Ohio State or Indiana is going to be in there with Oregon. And then they're just going to be kicking back and hanging out in seed 6 through 8.
Now, here's the question. Indiana loses to Ohio, right? Like you said. Ohio turns out and gets fucking just the slobber knocked by Oregon. Let's just say it happens. And that Indiana game was close. Like, how do you play that out? Like,
you still put Ohio in because you got the number 1 team in the country losing 2 times to you got Ohio State losing twice to Oregon. It's still probably still probably put that.
The bad part is I don't see Ohio losing to Oregon twice. Maybe twice out of 3 games. Yeah, maybe twice out of 3 games, but I just don't see them. I see that if Ohio makes it, I see them beating Oregon. But it's such a weird year. Like they still got to make it through Indiana. Like that's the problem. Maybe people have been looking at Indiana. Oh, they're slouches. They haven't played nobody. They turn around, and go play them, and get smoked. And you're like, oh fuck, that team's actually pretty good. Like we can talk about them. Go ahead.
I would prefer for Michigan to end Ohio State's misery, but I'll allow Indiana too if they want to.
We're about to find out real soon how real they are.
There is one team I am thoroughly rooting for, and they have made a roaring fucking. They're having a big game next week against Notre Dame, and if they beat Notre Dame, I think they put themselves in a position to be in the top 12, if not guarantee that 5th spot with Army.
What conference are they in, Horton?
They're the Tulane one, whatever one.
AAC, whatever it is.
I don't, dude. I just
the AAC with Tulane.
I just don't see any of those guys, any of those teams jumping Boise. Boise looks so good.
The problem is if they turn around and go beat a number 8 team, I don't know.
I guess I don't know. I don't think Boise plays anybody good. I just can't.
But Boise's only loss is Oregon, right? Number 1 team on the road, and they actually played well. So
they did beat Washington, who was ranked 19. It was 37-34 to Oregon. It was a close game. Other than that, they haven't played anybody else.
I was like week 1, I think.
Yeah, they haven't played anybody else. So that's
neither is Army though.
Same thing. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So if Army turns around and goes and beats Notre Dame, I think maybe Army can get into the top 12 just in the rankings.
I'll be rooting for it just so I can
we don't have to see Notre Dame in the damn playoff.
Yeah,
I
100%.
looking at
I'll
this
be
right
rooting
here.
for it so this shit turns into fucking chaos.
Oh, I want chaos. too.
Listen, I think chaos is going to happen in the championship games because I think
Uh-huh.
there's going to be some upsets and then there's going to be some shit that just happens weirdly where teams snake their way into a championship game. And like you said, you're not going to keep Indiana even with the one loss over a George. Like it no matter what, the board is going to have a tough time picking their top 12.
What do you guys make of what do you guys make of BYU? I cannot believe they won that game last week. You think they're for real? I mean, I thought they were going to lose to Utah last week. Really did.
I think when they get into, I think they can win their conference. They are this week's matchup, obviously their Kansas has definitely got a shot.
Yeah.
But I think if they get in the playoffs, they're going to get the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah.
No matter who they
Like a
match
one-
up with. Like
like a
right
one
there,
lo-
that
like a
matchup right
one-loss-
there. That's Ole Miss. The way it looks right now, Ole Miss versus Penn State.
Yeah.
Whoever plays them would kick the shit out of them.
Yeah. And that's where, like, when I'm looking at this, like, I would love to see Georgia in instead of, Notre Dame. I don't even know. I guess not even SMU, man. I like to see Miami and Clemson in instead of like an Indiana. I would rather see those teams in this playoff. Want to make sure they have a chance to make it interesting. I don't want a bunch of freaking blowouts.
We'll see, man.
So yeah,
obviously Georgia, awesome. Right? Georgia loses this week. That's over with, right? That'll take care of itself. Yep. Tennessee would still be in. You guys think anybody else is on upset alert?
I think BYU's on upset alert for sure.
Yep, I agree with that one.
I was listening to some guys talk about Kansas and a lot of close games. One way or the other, just little things that could have their record shit, but like that record very easily could be flipped. And BYU seems like they're coasted to the Big 12 championship game, they think. And I got BYU hardcore on upset alert. I don't know.
Yeah, I've got
really about anybody else. I wouldn't consider
Notre Dame.
Notre
Dame's got three big games, man. They got to get through.
Virginia, right?
They've got Virginia, Army, and USC. These are not easy games. They're not easy games, like by any means. No. So
a game that normally should be easy, right? This year, Texas versus Arkansas. I mean, that's such a rivalry. They hate each other, right? There's something there. I wouldn't expect Arkansas to stick with them, but anytime there's a rivalry game, you always got to look at it. I think a team that's been playing, they're in it and they're playing for something. Kansas State, Arizona State's kind of sneaky, man. Arizona State could give them an issue this week. If I'm just trying to pick one, right, kind of out of the air, because I think we've already highlighted the other two that are a little more obvious.
Yeah, you talked about Texas, and that's not. You're right about that. They that line on that game was awkwardly small.
12 and a half.
I saw Texas, Arkansas, and I go, oh yeah, no doubt, like Texas slam dunk. And then I seen it at like 12 and a half, 11 and a half. I'm like, what in the hell? So
it's just one of those games, man.
When you say there's something there, there's 100% something there. People know there's something up.
Yeah, they're a rivalry, man. They don't like each other. It's always a tight game, right? So I don't know, just one of those weird matchups.
There's another game this week that I think is going to be can have a factor on a lot of things, and it's Colorado, Utah. I know
Boulder.
I know Utah's record doesn't show that they're good. They have yet to get blown out at all. I don't think they've lost one game by more than 10 points. So they almost beat BYU. They lost to Houston by like 4. They lost to TCU by like 5. They lost to Arizona State by like 6. Like they've been close games. That's why I said when that number was out there against, Colorado, I like that number for the bet. I think Colorado's going to win, but I don't see Colorado blowing them out.
Yeah, man, I wish Utah, Cam Rising was playing. He's out for the year, but I wish he was playing. I think it could be a different game.
But I don't know. That's going to be another game where I think Colorado can't go into Utah or Utah's coming to town, but they can't be thinking, oh, it's going to be an easy game because it's not, And they've got to play them. They've got to play them twice. Oh no, correction. Sorry, I apologize. I said play them twice. I looked at the wrong schedule here. Colorado's still got to play 2 more hard games after this as well to at least give themselves a shot with Kansas and Oklahoma State, which Oklahoma State looks absolutely awful. I think they're going to fire every coach there. If you're talking, Anthony, we can't hear you.
My bad. Am I back?
Yeah,
Yep.
you're back. I saw you chirping,
I
but you were
muted-
saying shit.
I muted because I'm over here picking my freaking teeth. I got something in my teeth, so I forgot that I muted.
What you did?
Yeah, dude. My boys in Boulder. I think they're gonna beat them by 14. So
I do have a question.
What?
Before we move on anymore. Do you feel that Dion stays, or do you think NFL is calling now?
Dion stays.
Do you actually think that, Anthony?
I don't.
Yeah, I do.
Bro, there's
Okay.
so many teams want a head coach.
I've actually been wanting to address this. I don't know if you have heard how little he goes out and recruits, but he doesn't recruit compared to other Power 5 college coaches. He just doesn't. He's living through the portal, right? I honestly expect for him to walk away once his boys are done. I really do. Yes, I do. I don't think he's going to stay there. I think
I heard him say that-
I think it was the perfect situation for him. And I just don't see it.
You
I
think he
think he's
goes
going to leave,
pro?
man.
Or does he go to a bigger
look, I
university?
don't see, like some people have said, right, he needs to go to the SEC. And then you hear these guys laugh, right? Like he will never be able to go recruit against a Kirby Smart he just doesn't. So I don't think he's willing to put that extra time in that it takes in college. College is no joke, man. I don't see him staying in college football long. I don't know what he's going to do, but I don't see him staying in college long. It's too much of a year-round job, and I think he's there to purely help his boys, which he's done a great job, right? Showing Shador and like the whole thing's worked out. So I don't think though that he'll stay long term. I don't.
What's funny is you sit there and say that about like college is different than the NFL. In college, the head coach does 5 times what an NFL coach does. In the NFL, they have guys that will go do their due diligence to go see who's the next great player and who they can draft and where the odds of being able to draft where. And they've got analysts that are paid big bucks to do all this for them. And all they got to do is tell them who they want and if it's possible. I want this guy. How do I get him? And they'll go through their little numbers to see what's possible. College, you don't really have that as much. You do have guys, but not like that. You don't have a team. You have maybe a guy who can run some numbers for you. And you're like, oh, well, you still got to go visit him, his mom and dad, because that's who's the believer where he gets to go to school. And I've read everything about him not being the guy that goes knocks on doors. Nope. If you want to come play ball for him, you're going to show up to his doorstep. He's not going to come to yours.
He's not going to go recruit a ton.
He's the perfect NFL coach. That's the bad thing.
I think that's where he fits if he wants to continue to coach.
I agree.
And that's one thing, right? Like we can look at that, right? Like, there's been discussion looking at the teams in the top 10, right? Could it be a package deal, right? Could you get him? And we're going to get off task right now, right? But since we're talking about him, that there is potential there, right? Like if you're looking at some of the potential top 10 teams that don't have a quarterback, because most of them don't, if they're going to get a new coach, could you potentially do that?
Get both. Yep.
Right? Could you get both? I mean,
would you be mad,
right?
Anthony? Would you be mad? Deion Sanders?
Well, I mean, like the Cowboys, right? Like the Raiders. You can start looking at teams, but there's a lot of the Giants, right? There's going to be teams with early picks that are going to need a coach and both need a quarterback.
Shador don't want to play in the cold weather. You don't want to play.
Well, look, he's going to want to go where he's going to get the money, right? So, okay, let's finish up college.
Las Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
Pay this man.
Now, I did hear him say that they asked him a lot about pros last year, and he said something along the lines of like, my callings are with the youth and try to teach these guys how to be men. I can't mess with those pro guys that are this and that. Like, so he's denied it in the past, but look, if the Raiders are going to potentially move on from Antonio Pierce, I wouldn't be mad about it.
Well, we'll discuss that when we get to
the
NFL,
that'll
I guess,
be off-season time.
And it could be later on when we're talking about potential Byron's
do
in the
this shit
NFL.
right.
Ooh, this
Let's
is
get to
true.
Let's get to these beans, brother.
Oh, the
Beans,
beans,
brother.
What a terrible fucking week for all of us. There's like I said,
I
the
mean, no,
the upsets have been fucking horrendous. I lost a whopping 142.
I'm like you're like I mean, I lost
We're-
25, but I didn't lose
Yeah,
142.
I mean, I'm still above both y'all by a little bit, but golly, talk about getting your
Gotcha.
ass kicked. I threw away about $400, $380 or whatever it was, real quick, 2 weeks in a row. And you know what's
Yeah,
crazy?
bro.
I made some pretty safe bets that were not safe because top 4 teams can't win their fucking games. So very frustrating. Like I said, as being a better.
Tell me, that's one team we didn't talk about. Tell me how you really feel about Miami, Tyler.
They fucking suck.
Tell
I'll
me
go
how
ahead.
you really feel, bro.
I'll go ahead and lead it off here. Like I
This
said,
would be the worst bet of
there-
the weekend.
no, I don't think this isn't the worst. This is a pretty saucy little bet. Not terrible. I like Tennessee with the not. I think that Georgia could possibly win this game. Right? It's a pretty big number, which is surprising to me that it's 9.5. With I know Georgia's at rank 11 or based on the ranking, but we all know Georgia's good. I just don't think Tennessee gets blown out here. I think it's a close game, maybe a last minute touchdown or field goal.
I think that number has a lot to do with the health of the quarterback in Tennessee. He's banged up. He's expected to play, but I don't know the extent of his injury.
Yeah.
I think that number has a lot to do with that. I feel like if he was full tilt, you might see that thing be down to like a 6.5.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Well,
Texas,
and then also the fact that freaking Georgia's coming off an upset, right? Like people are expecting
and they're playing
them
for
to
their
come out
life, man. Like this
playing
is it
for
for
everything. Yep.
yeah, and they are in Georgia, so that does change it a little more as well. But I think Tennessee, like we talked about it, Tennessee losing the game here, this could potentially be damaging for them to have a chance. We don't know how it could play out the next couple games. I like Texas. I know Arkansas is scary. They hate each other and they play each other hard, but Arkansas is fucking garbage. And I see Texas mollywhopping and showing them why they belong here. And I like Colorado. Once again, I think Colorado's going to win, but Utah has yet to be blown out by more than 10 points. This is just one of those games where Colorado has got to go in here and fight. They've got to fight for this game. This is like Utah saying, if we beat you, good luck with your chances making the championship game, because it just puts them in a bad position. So I think
they're probably done if they lose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be close. 3 losses. It's going to be hard to make a championship game with 3 losses.
Well, they only have 1 loss in the conference, I'm pretty sure.
Is it 1 loss in the conference? Let me go look real quick.
I think they only have 1 loss in the conference. I could be wrong about that.
No, I think you're right. It's taking forever to load on my end.
Yeah, they got one Big 12 loss. BYU's undefeated. So then they'll be just like in a clusterfuck of like Arizona State, Iowa State, Kansas State, West Virginia.
Yeah.
A bunch of 2-loss teams at that point. So
and they've got to finish off the year playing Kansas, which they're not very good. Neither is Oklahoma State University. But in the minds of interconference play, if you can knock a team out of making it, they play different, and we all know that. It's just, and at the end of the day,
I like your Utah leg. I think a little more than I like your Tennessee leg. I think Georgia wins handedly. I think that court. You don't know what you're going to get from Nico coming back. He missed the whole second half last week, and Georgia's going to be on fire with their life on the line. I like them to win by 10-14, but I do like your Utah leg a little better. I think that game's going to be a little bit lower scoring.
We said this last week. We thought Georgia was going to do fairly well against Ole Miss, and I mean that game just took a whole fucking turn.
Yeah,
I mean, and let's be honest, whoever thought Ole Miss was going to be able to do what they did in that game, like especially after some of the game.
I thought Ole Miss was a disaster.
Yeah, I was in the same boat as you were. I was like shocked, but hey, it is what it is. We'll see what's up. We'll go ahead and float over here to old Anthony. Let Brad take last since he's last in the pick'em standings as well. So,
yeah, I went ahead and I rode with you on Texas, and I think Boise State's playing San Jose or something like that. I like that at 14. Kansas State, I also like it to cover the 7.5, but I am picking the upset here, Kansas over BYU. So I got Kansas money line. They're the underdogs. I definitely think I've said it earlier. I think BYU is on upset alert. I think they played like absolute shit last week. I think I might have given them the blueprint on how to slow these guys down. And Kansas is playing better ball than most people think. So I put 10 beans on it to win 141. And then I did a little three-legger here. I like Oregon to cover the 13.5 against Wisconsin. I like Georgia money line, which is I guess I didn't have the balls to take the -9.5, so maybe that does prove that your number's good. But I went ahead and went Georgia money line, and then Nebraska to keep it close against USC. Both teams are in a lot of turmoil right now. Like, new starting quarterback for USC, new offensive coordinator this late in the season for Nebraska. So I think it's going to be a pretty competitive game. I think both these teams are pretty talented, just been playing like shit. So I like Nebraska to keep it within a touchdown plus 7.5, 15, win 53-21. So I expect to be up a substantial amount of beans after this week. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 100. I think is what
Nebraska is so confusing. To turn around and get blown out by Indiana and then to fucking have Ohio run for their money, like, it's just mind-boggling to me. Like, I don't understand this team. And then they go turn around and lose to UCLA. Like what is going on over there? They're supposed to be a great team. People talked about them. I'm pretty sure they're top 25 rated rankings before when the season started. So
I think they got a pretty long runway, though. I think that they worked this portal pretty good. I think Dylan Raiola is a pretty solid quarterback. I mean, Matt Rule is a pretty good coach. I think they're probably going to be pretty good next year and the year after would be my guess.
Unfortunately, I already don't like Dylan because he looks like Patrick Mahomes, but we'll keep on going. Brad, you're up. God, Brad. Brad's got a nice little...
Look at this
So
guy.
we're just one bet, man. One bet. Colorado State, they're all money line. Colorado State is playing Wyoming at home, so I would expect them to win. Tulane actually is playing at Navy. Cal is hosting Syracuse at home. Cal's actually pretty good at home, pretty shitty on the road.
Yeah.
The next game is the dicey one. You guys both just talked about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick USC because they're home. I don't know, man. That's the game that I wasn't fully committed to. I think the line's like 7.5. So I'm gonna go ahead and go USC. Georgia Southern is playing a shitty Troy team, and then the last one will be Iowa State. I don't know. I wasn't really sure if I should go 2, 3 bets or just one. And typically, I don't throw this many together and put it all out there. But the only game I'm
like
really,
Tyler Horton bet, bro.
yeah, the only game
you're
I'm
right
really
around there.
nervous about is the USC bet. I feel comfortable with the other 5 and watch the other 5 will probably be the ones that I lose, and USC will have a blowout victory. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Well, looks like we're gonna keep on moving. Remember, guys, gambling, probably gonna lose your ass and lose your money. Don't do it if you have any problems. There's always a number you can call for help. We're not professional gamblers or professional bettors. We do this for fun. So if you want to take our advice, pre-warning, it's all on you. Do a little research, but we're not crazy. I promise you, we're losing our ass everywhere else.
Speak for yourself, Horton.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This week has been pretty rough on you, brother. The phone calls
Hey, dude.
They've been pretty sad. They've been pretty sad.
I had a couple of
last night was pretty good. Last night.
Yeah, last
night. The week before. Twice.
I don't want
3 times.
Let's move on.
Into the NFL we go, baby. What a time. Saquon Barkley. God, I'm so glad I have him on my fantasy teams.
He sucks.
Dude, his vision and the way he runs the ball, man, he has elevated the Eagles by a mile.
Eagles are starting to play well, man. Their defense is playing well. Eagles look good, and Saquon is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Quinyon Mitchell, Defensive Player of the Year.
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah,
pretty damn close. I don't
like. Holy shit! You just don't catch a ball on that guy. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did McLaurin have a catch?
I don't even think he got one. I'll have to let me.
I don't think so.
I think he got goose egged.
Yeah. I think.
I'll look. I have him on a couple of my teams. I'll look for you guys real quick and see my 0 point.
While you're looking at that, what the fuck are the Colts doing?
Yeah,
Do
I
we
don't
Doing
really
know.
what they
think that? I
should have
mean,
done.
because I'll be honest, as a Dolphins fan, who it's kind of funny. They showed the final four teams in the AFC trying to fight to get in, right? And it's like Denver, Indianapolis, the Dolphins, and the other one's going to Cincinnati, right? I'm happy they're going back to Richardson. But if they're playing for the playoffs, wouldn't they play Flacco? I know Flacco didn't look
I
very
don't.
good last week,
Flacco's,
but
yeah,
it's
he's looking
so
like
weird
shit.
right now, man.
I don't.
Richardson didn't.
I read something on this, by the way. You speak about it. It was a learning situation. He was
Yeah,
not doing something right that they did not like. They understand where their team's at. He's pretty much like a rookie quarterback this year. Like last year didn't count. It's not even considered a sophomore year for him. So they're really trying to get him in. But what I was reading, I'm going to try to find it right now. It was a learning. They wanted him to be a different kind of team player, or it was something weird. I've never heard of a coach benching a player because of it.
Did we talk about him tapping out of the game, or
yeah,
did
no,
we
like
skip that week?
We
Like,
skipped
yeah,
that
like
we
week.
he's
were
got to
out
learn
that
how.
week.
He's got to learn how to be a leader of men, and he's got to learn how to be a face of a franchise. And you can't be tapping out like you're tired. Like that's dad at Disneyland, bro. That's not NFL quarterback. You know what I mean? That's me being like, hey, dude, I gotta sit down for 20 minutes. Like
That's
that's
why I'm
me.
shocked they're going back to him, man. I can't believe it.
Well,
Well,
I
they got a
don't
lot
think
invested in that dude, man.
I
Yeah, but
I
man, you've
don't think
also got a whole team you can lose, right? That watched him do that. They're in the hunt for the playoffs. I don't know, man. They lose the next couple games, they could lose that team.
Huh? Fuck him.
Yeah, I guess so.
So yeah, going back to my boy Terry McLaurin, fucking joke, dude. 1 catch for 10 yards, and then my newly acquired Devonta Smith, 6 points.
my
So
newly acquired.
between the two
You
guys that I
fucking
got over the
snake.
last week or
You
so,
snake
8
son of a
points.
bitch.
8
Listen,
points.
don't ever be on the phone, Brad, with this guy and talk about trades. Because guess what he's
Dude,
gonna do
shut
behind your fucking
fuck
back?
up.
I already
It
know.
was
I already
no,
know.
no, 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 no,
I
no,
don't
no, no.
talk
Bullshit.
The
anything at
words out
all
of
no
his
more.
mouth. The words out of his mouth were
no.
all pull back by trade.
This month, so let me tell you something. This is exactly how this went down. Who are you trying to trade for?
I don't even
It
remember.
wasn't Devonta Smith. It was another trade. And you go, oh, I just sent him an offer. I said, okay, well, I'll pull back mine. You're going after that guy. I start talking Devonta Smith, and I'm putting together a trade offer for Devonta Smith as I'm on the phone with Horton. And all of a sudden he's like, well, I just sent an offer for Devonta Smith. So this whole oh, I heard it. And I know that's what that motherfucker did.
No, I don't
He
talk
did.
trades with any of you motherfuckers no more. Because that shit's happened to me. Fuck that shit. I keep it to myself now.
Yeah,
Matter of
it's
fact,
fucked.
isn't it trade deadline in Addicts today?
I think it might
I
be
think
hard
so.
to
I got to
pass
press
on.
some buttons here real soon because I need to dump and run, baby.
So the comments made by the head coach, real quick, about Richardson was, it was purely about professionalism and dedication to his craft rather than his play. We know he's
Yeah.
going to make mistakes because he's pretty much a rookie this year. The problem is pulling yourself out of a game as a starting quarterback shows weakness, and you're not dedicated enough to your team. That was it. So basically, they told him, bro, you can't do this. Like your team, you lost all confidence in your team by doing what you did. Like your team basically goes, bro, I'm out here dying. I'm 340
He bitched
pounds
out,
blocking
man.
your ass, and you're an in shape quarterback. Why are you pulling yourself out of the game? You've got to fight through the pain.
Look, let's
So-
be real. The next thing we're going to talk about, just imagine if he was on one of those teams and did that shit.
Yeah.
He get his
You're
ass kicked
done.
after.
You're done. You're getting the shit kicked out of you. Imagine doing that with a guy like James Harrison on the field. Come on now. Give me a break, man. Dude quit on his team in a division game. Come on. I'm sorry. I know it's his rookie year pretty much, but it's ridiculous.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully something. He's
Yep.
only 22 years old. He's a freaking baby. Like we'll see. I don't he turned
Yeah,
22
well-
he turned 22 in May. So, he's a youngster, man, and I don't know. We'll see. I have noticed a big difference, which we haven't really got to talk about it a lot, about quarterbacks, which I know we haven't really focused it. What about all these quarterbacks that have gotten more playing time for more years? Like, Bo Nix, Brock Purdy, with 4 years under their belt playing, and then you get CJ Stroud, who comes in with what, a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and now he's having that sophomore slump. When you look at Purdy, he's not really having a slump. He's having a pretty decent year. And it's apparent, like, I would kind of wanted to pick your brains on that. What do you think? Do you think the longer tenure in the NCAA is helping these guys? Gives them better opportunity to produce?
I gotta tell you something. The fact that you just compared Bo Nix to your boy Brock Purdy pretty much shut down any argument about Brock Purdy being a top 10 quarterback.
Okay, I didn't compare them as stats. I just said that Bo Nix is playing well for a rookie quarterback on a bad team. I'm just saying, like, wait, let's speak Caleb Williams. Like, what did he play? 2 years? And he's struggling very badly in multiple games. Bo Nix really hasn't had like a game where you're like, oh my God, Bo Nix don't look good. There's been games where we watch Caleb and go, Jesus Christ, what throw was that? Like, what was that? Like, Bo Nix is maybe far in between on that. I'm just saying, does the time
I think the difference there is Bo Nix has Sean Payton calling plays and scheming with them, and the Bears have
Eberflus.
Eberflus, and they just fired their offensive coordinator, and it's just like a Mickey Mouse, right? I honestly believe, and we're gonna get into this in a bit. I think Cliff Kingsbury is the head coach of the Chicago Bears next year. That's my guess. He was on Lincoln Riley's staff at USC last year, I believe. He knows Caleb. Look what he's doing with Jaden Daniels. I think Cliff is going to be the head coach of Chicago next year, and then I think his whole world changes, and Caleb Williams is the Caleb Williams we all thought he would be.
Well, here's another mind-blowing thing to think about. Jaden Daniels also got 5 years in college. 4 years technically, because I believe he redshirted his freshman year. But that time, I think the time shows. Like, we talk about these guys that come in with only like a year or two in the league, like in college, and they go fucking ball out. And it's like, then they come in the league expecting to do the same thing, and they're just not really, it's not transitioning correctly. I just wonder if that, you get those 4 year, you think it's going to start changing the way they look at these young quarterbacks that come into the league? Like Trevor Lawrence is one of them. How many years did Trevor Lawrence play? Pretty sure he only played 1 year as a starter. Like, and if not, maybe 2. I don't remember. I know he only had one. He had one humongo year where it was like, oh my God, this guy's the best. Well, but I'm not 100% positive. 3 years. I apologize. Yeah. He played 3 years.
I was gonna say, I think he started as a true freshman. So I think he was like,
that was his big year.
So
freshman year was.
Yep.
Yeah. Freshman year, he threw 30 touchdowns and they won. I believe that's the year they won.
They won the national championship.
The national championship.
Crazy.
But, I don't know. I kind of look at, like, you get these guys that come in and they, as a junior, they finally get to play and they have killer years and the team is just so built around them. Yeah. Prime example of why Ohio State quarterbacks usually suck when they come into the NFL. They've got the best team in the fucking league. And why would you not be great? You should be great when you have the best players on your roster, Yeah,
I think you're onto something. But that's why, like, I had one of my buddies shit talk me this week about Caleb Williams because I drafted him in our Addicts League and I was high on him. And I'm like, dude, like, I don't like, okay, he's a rookie quarterback. Peyton Manning threw 29 picks as a rookie. Like, I don't really start tripping on these guys until year 2, 3. We'll see how they pan out, see different things. I also feel the same exact way about rookie receivers. I feel like you need to get them to year 2 and really start seeing things. It's year 2 boom for rookie receivers. So, obviously the more playing time, obviously more playing time helps. So definitely, I could see you're onto something. I don't know if CJ Stroud's necessarily playing in a sophomore slump style. I just think, the league's caught up to him a little bit. Now he has to make some adjustments, and that offensive staff has to make some adjustments. He's also been without Diggs. He's been without Nico. It's kind of a revolving door of receivers there. So I think he's going to be okay down the stretch with Nico coming back.
Yeah, no, and I'm not saying Stroud's not good. I know he's going to stay good. I'm just saying he only played 2 years. He played his freshman year. I believe he was hurt his sophomore year or didn't play or he was benched. I couldn't remember. And then he came back for
Stroud?
his Stroud. Yeah. What?
I think he played 2
No,
years.
he played back to back. He played his sophomore year and his junior year. He didn't start. So he only has 2 years under his belt. Comes in the league, comes out hot. Like he's talented. Same with Caleb Williams. He started late in Oklahoma, played well, but only threw for under 2,000 yards, but looked good. Went to USC for 2 years, went to the NFL. And they're kind of having rocky, Caleb's having a little more rocky start. I think the team's worse than what obviously, Stroud got to walk into. Stroud walked into a better situation, better coaching staff, better everything. I'm not doubting the ability of the guy. I just think that I wonder if that's the difference maker is like the years help guys. But I say that, and then you turn around and look at what the fuck's his name for Oklahoma State University, who's played 7 years in college. Bowman, I don't know. Fucking Jesus.
Some people just start professional quarterbacks, man.
That guy's got 2 degrees by the time he graduates.
Yes. Stroud was the backup to Justin Fields in 2020, and then was the starter in 21 and 22. Never beat Michigan.
Yo, how wild is that, right?
Fucking good Lord. Stay on fucking bros. Let's talk about the matchup with the Ravens and the Steelers, you fucking crazy fuckers.
This is probably my favorite rivalry in all of football because I have no skin in the game. But my best friend Mark is the Ravens fan. Bob, his dad's a Steeler fan. And I feel like these have been some of my favorite games to watch growing up back when Ray Lewis and Hines Ward, James Harrison,
big games, man.
They've always had some massive games.
Troy Polamalu, don't forget him.
Oh, yeah, Troy Polamalu. I remember Mike Tomlin stepping in the way of Jacoby Jones?
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. Doing the punt return.
That was a crazy thing, man. I'm looking forward to this game. And I don't know, like I thought about it, like this is such a good rivalry. I think they said this is Tomlin and Harbaugh's 36th time facing each other.
Good Lord.
They face each other. This is number 36. Like this is old school type of football. And so I said that's probably my favorite rivalry in football. Besides, I got to take away like, the Raiders Chiefs, right? Because I'm a Raiders fan and all that. But like outside of your favorite team, where does this rank in football rivalries, or what ranks ahead of it for you guys?
I mean, as a Niner fan,
you got to take your favorite out. Like you got to say like, Rams, Seahawks, totally get it. Like that's your favorite team. But like outside of your favorite team, all time, just when you think of it, like when you see those two teams matching up, you're like,
this is definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I would put this near the top. Off the top of my head,
it's hard, man. Like you look like I don't know, other than maybe like Bears.
I've always liked
Packers,
watching the Packers and Bears.
Packers, Niners, Cowboys. Yeah. There's like 4 big ones where you're just like,
a few of them.
Jesus, there's nothing like. But these are like decades of like we're like who's gonna win the NFL season? Like who's gonna win the league? Yeah. Is these two teams just duking it out between Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cowboys, Niners, Packers, Bears. There's another one. It's not ringing a bell. Patriots, Colts. Another one. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning era, like insane games.
It's like I'm looking at our image here of all these teams, and I'm trying to match up another pairing of teams that every time I see them matched up with each other, I go, oh shit. Like I gotta watch that game.
I got one for you. Raiders, Steelers, 70s, the 80s.
Yeah, no doubt. But like I'm looking at this layout of all these teams, and I don't got one. Like that, this is outside of my favorite team. This is by far my favorite rivalry. And it's incredible stuff. I cannot wait. We'll see what if the Steelers can hang. I know, Brad, those they're your Pittsburgh Steelers. So
hold on.
Here's the interesting thing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Steelers have won 7 of the last 8 matchups.
I know.
You wouldn't think it.
Is that what you're gonna say, Tyler?
I'm gonna let you know that this is the worst team Lamar plays against.
I know.
He's got 4 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Like, his percentage, completion percentage is like, I think he's been over 60 twice in like 7 games or 6 games. Like, this is his kryptonite.
Tomlin knows that, dude.
And you know what? This is such a big game for Pittsburgh, right?
Both.
When I
It's
know
for
we're going
both.
to talk
Yeah.
about it for both, but Pittsburgh's schedule's tighter down the road. Baltimore's schedule's good, but Pittsburgh's schedule gets a little ugly. And it's one of the things we're going to talk about, right? They play each other twice, right? They still need to play the Browns twice. I know they're kind of weak. Bengals are kind of iffy right now, but they also still play the Eagles and the Chiefs. So
Yeah.
when you kind of look at, right, they got to play the Ravens twice, they got to play the Eagles, they got to play the Chiefs. Those 4 games right there, that's huge, man. So this is a huge matchup. Huge.
Yeah, he is 2-4 against the Steelers, and he's 0-3. He hasn't beat the Steelers since 2019.
He's had to have played him more than that, though. He said 2-4.
Yeah, he's 2-4.
He plays him twice a year. That's only 3 years.
It's
Maybe
then
that's like in Pittsburgh. Are they in Pittsburgh?
this is in Pittsburgh. No,
Oh, so
this
he's
is
2-4 in Pittsburgh.
What's his rookie year? When did he start? I can't remember the year that Lamar started, but I can tell you.
Hold on. Against, I want to say is 18, 19.
Okay,
this is actually not showing me everything here. I don't know why.
He
It cut
did-
it
he
off.
stu-
It does say he's 2-4. Maybe he missed some games.
Well, because he
'Cause
still
it
had
says he's
Flacco there.
2-4.
Remember? I mean, he sat behind Flacco in the very beginning.
Yeah, 18. Yeah, he only played 19, 20, 21.
Yeah,
He must have missed both their games in 22.
he was also hurt.
Yeah, he missed both their games in 22. He did not play him in 22.
Yep.
I only played him once in 2020. So yeah, he missed 1 game in 2019, 1 game in 2020, 1 game in 2021, both games in 2022, and 1 game in 2023. So that makes sense. No shit.
Yeah.
God, that guy had injury problems.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that just 6 games
Yeah.
just doesn't add up. Oh, he's missed fucking half of them.
You tripped me
He's
out
missed
there
as
for a
many games as he
second.
played.
When you said it, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. You're right. I know they're in the division together. I was like, but he hasn't played yet this year against them. So you got 2 more games against them. I just think going into Pittsburgh is going to be hard. I think that they'll win at home, but golly.
And you also can't give that record to him. I don't know what the results for these games were, but he's only technically faced them 6 times, 2 of which he was not the starting quarterback. He's only faced them as the starting quarterback 4 times. I don't know what necessarily the record is in those. I can find out very shortly.
I'm looking at the games of history, so
they won that one.
He's been a starter out of the 4 games, and he's 1-3.
yeah.
Is he 1-3?
So yeah, he beat the. Yep.
He beat him in 19. He beat him in 20, or lost in 20, lost in 21, lost in 23.
God, and all their games are so fucking close. I'm looking at his scores. God, this is gonna be awesome, dude. This is an all timer.
And in the last game they played, he threw for 236 yards and no touchdowns.
Wow.
So we'll see. It's gonna be great. And Steelers defense is playing fucking phenomenal right now, dude.
I know, dude.
They're playing off the chain, and that's why I'm definitely taking the Steelers. By the way, just giving you a spoiler alert.
All right, well, you're wrong. So hey, before we get into our picks, I wanted to see, and I know Brad started making up a list too, but I made up 2 lists, and I want you to tell me where I'm right and where I'm wrong. Okay. I made up a list of teams that are going to be looking for head coaches, in my opinion. Jets and Saints are obvious. They've already fired their head coaches. I got the Jaguars, the Cowboys, and the Bears.
I agree with all 3. I think they're all going to be looking for coaches.
I got the Browns and the Giants with a question mark. Anybody I'm missing there?
I think the other 2, honestly, I could see Pearson in Oakland. I mean, in Vegas. He'd be at the bottom of my list. I could also see Taylor with the Bengals, man, if they don't get it turned around. I mean, they've been a huge disappointment this year. So I think when you look at the numbers, right, we've lost 2 already. You named 3, we're at 5. The average is 6 per year. And last year there was 8. So if you're going to get to 8, for sure.
The average is typically 6 to 6.
Yeah, it's 6. Yeah, and last year was 8. So if you're going to get to 6, it's 1 more of these 4, right? Giants, Bengals, Browns, Raiders. I would say the Giants. If you're going to get to 8, if you're going to get, I mean, there's high turnover, man, with coaches. It feels like it's gaining steam. And last year was 8, right? So I could see the Bengals if they continue to lose, man, wanting to change things up, man. I would have never believed that before the year, but if I'm kind of pulling one from the bottom, I
What
could see
about what
that.
about
And
what
then the
about
Browns have
what
just been
about
a
our
freaking mess.
what about our cokehead in Miami? How you think he's good?
I think he's going to come back only because Tua was hurt and all the shit. I think he'll be back.
Our cokehead in Miami. So okay, Horton, what do you got? Any other teams you think?
I mean, I'm just looking. I mean, obviously you've hammered a bunch of them. I don't know the Saints kind of. I got question marks there for them, man. I don't know.
Well, they've already
Dallas.
fired their
Yeah,
coach.
They
yeah,
already
I
fired
know.
their coach,
Okay,
so.
yeah, that's right.
They're
I'm
dead.
sorry. In
they're
Dallas,
dead.
same situation in Dallas. Like, I don't understand or know. Like, I don't.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's almost a slam dunk. They're going to be doing interviews for head coaching job because Mike McCarthy is on the final year of his deal. So when this
Yeah.
season ends, it expires.
He's done.
So I think he's done too. But like, even if they don't come out and say we're firing him, we're moving on, they're going to be in it. They're going to be searching for a head coach, even if they interview Mike too, right? So I
Yep.
think that's going to be done. And then I've been thinking about the draft, obviously, because that's all us Raider fans have to look forward to is Black Friday against the Kansas City Chiefs, and then the draft. Teams that are going to be needing a quarterback. I got the following teams: the Seahawks with Geno Smith, the Panthers with Bryce Young, the Saints with Derek Carr. As much as that hurts me to say, I think they're going to be starting fresh. So I think the new coach and all that's going to be wanting a new quarterback. The Giants, obviously, with Daniel Jones. The Raiders with whoever the fuck's playing for them this week. The Titans and the Browns. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams looking for a quarterback. I got question marks with the Dolphins and question marks with the Jets. Rodgers said he thinks he's coming back, and as long as Tua is healthy, I'm assuming he's there too. Who am I missing here? Do you think there's anybody else?
I don't think so.
Colts, maybe, depending on how this year shakes out.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I could definitely see that. They're
Yeah, man. Who else?
I saw something goofy. What y'all think? I saw something goofy, right? And it
I can
talks
see
about
Jacksonville moving on, making a switch.
I don't.
The Raiders will take Trevor Lawrence gladly.
I think anybody in the NFL that needs a quarterback will take Trevor Lawrence. I think that the coaching's been bad there. The fucking support team's been bad there. Like, the guy's got nothing but Brian Thomas and a running back that can't stay healthy. Like, and the coaching's been just horrendous there. Like, I feel bad. He's almost like a David Carr situation going into fucking Texas. You know,
he plays his ass. He plays his ass off
and just gets his dick
And
kicked. Like,
I'm just pulling names out, right? I think them, and I actually could see the Rams picking one for the future because Stafford's not going to play that much. He's not going to play that much longer.
I think the same thing. I felt the same way. I definitely felt the same way when I was looking at this list. I'm like, I could see it. I could see Stafford.
Did you happen to mention? So what's your take on Minnesota's situation? Even though they got JJ McCarthy there, do you think that is like a slam dunk? He's the starter next year, or do you think that he sits another year out?
No, I think so. I mean, what's it called? I don't know. What's the term they say? Like the Cinderella turned into a pumpkin or whatever. Like that shit's happened to us. That's Sam Darnold right now. Like that shit's over, dude. They continue to win games, but I think
fucking wheels are starting to fall off the fucking car.
Yeah, that dude's gonna be. They're gonna be coming to December in the playoffs on one fucking tire and like spudding out the back.
No, they're like fucking Fred Flintstone.
If they make the playoffs, the problem is they've got to still make it. And it's not an easy stretch. You got
they don't look good, but their record's really good. So it's like, can they get to 3 more wins? Probably. I don't even know who they play. I'm gonna pull it up.
Their defense has held them afloat. The offense is struggling. You've got the Packers getting healthy. You got the Cardinals playing out their mind. You got the 49ers playing healthier. You got the Rams getting healthy. And they're only, the Rams are only 2 wins behind. The Niners are 1 win behind.
Yeah, but
or 3 wins behind.
Schedule. They play the
Yeah, dude, they're gonna
Titans and
beat
the
the
Bears.
Titans.
They're going to beat the Titans. They Bears twice.
Yeah, they got
got
the
the
Seahawks who
Seahawks.
suck. Like, can they get 3 wins between the
Yes.
Titans, both Bears games, and the Seahawks? I think so. And that gets them to 10-7, and I think that gets them in. I think they're a first round exit, but I think it gets them in.
But
Yeah.
do you think it gets them in over? Let's just say the Niners lose 2 more games, so that puts them at 6 losses, maybe 7. They would get in over the Niners because of their game against each other.
Yep,
The
head
Vikings
to head.
obviously beat them.
That's the shit you're
Unless-
watching, Horton.
I know, unless the Niners just go on I need the Niners going to tear, bro. Like they've got to.
They're
win
going to
now.
go on a tear.
You know,
They're gonna get going.
Cardinals play the Vikings, so
Yep.
keep that in mind. So if the
Who
Cardinals,
you rooting for there?
I don't know. Not the fuck
Vikings?
Cardinals. I don't want the Cardinals or
Yeah.
the Cardinals to make it because I hate
Yeah.
those divisional games in the playoffs, man. They're hard as fuck.
Yeah.
You look at the Packers. Packers are getting healthy. Like Love is starting to hopefully come back around. Like I don't count the Bears out, man. I just don't know the Bears. They go from playing amazing to dog shit. Amazing to dog shit. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So the Bears are like a coin flip. What side are you going to get? What Caleb Williams are going to get? Like, what offensive line are you going to get? What defense are you going to get? Because I know you've watched him quite a bit, Anthony, based on him being your quarterback, seeing like, is this guy really the truth? He's got moments where he's like, damn, boy's good. Boy's pretty fucking good. And then you're like, next week, you're like, boy's not very good. He's not very good.
I think he's gonna, I think he's going to struggle. I think next year's the year for him. I think it's going to be a struggle bust down the line. I really do. But let's get to these picks so you can go celebrate your boy's birthday.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's actually tomorrow, but we're doing a little family thing tonight. So
there you go. Look at that record.
I didn't
Happy
get the
birthday, man.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's my oldest. Gonna be 10 years old. I finally have
awesome.
a 2-digit son. Wow, I'm fucking getting old real
Well,
quick.
you know what? While we're talking birthdays and you see my gray hair, fellas, I am within 360 days of being 50.
Oh man.
Holy shit. Okay, moving on. Let's go.
Hey,
Dude.
I think next week, whenever we do this, you put a little fucking handicap placard next by
Bro,
his face.
shit is scary.
Shit, you were
Hey,
running
dude,
around.
You're gonna start getting cheap movie tickets.
You were playing like you were like watching movie. yeah.
They're like,
yeah.
do you qualify for
Discount.
AARP?
Hey,
Yeah,
you want? He's going to Denny's getting the senior discount.
yeah.
Getting the $3 off.
I'm going to try it out and let you guys know. I
Yeah,
will try and
yeah.
let you guys know.
I did not post the weekly picks this week because Brad did so bad. I don't want to embarrass the elderly. So
Why not?
we're gonna move
I don't
on.
give a
I got
shit.
it right here. I got
No,
it
I'm
right
just-
here, guys.
You
I
know,
know I
that
got
I'm
it, I got it.
literally just like throwing darts trying to like go opposite of you guys.
Yeah, and you have slowly
We're
got
good.
a whole week behind. You're
I don't
15,
give a shit.
15 games back.
You know I don't give a shit. I'm just going opposite on the
Me
ton.
and Tyler went 9-5, and Brad was 6-8.
Yeah, I'm just throwing darts. I don't give a shit.
Well, let's
let's get it.
fucking do it.
Let's get into these
Let's go.
picks.
Hell yeah!
And
I
what
haven't-
a
dude, I haven't
what a
thought about this
fucking.
for-
We didn't do our Thursday night. All three of us picked the Eagles prehand before we got into it. So obviously that was an easy win for all of us. But this is a good one. I'll just start it off, Anthony. You can take it from here. I'm telling you right now, the motherfucking Steelers are going to come out with the W on this one, and Lamar is going to get smacked, just like Paul probably will tonight. So we'll see.
Oh, that's gonna be
I
fun.
can't wait to watch that.
So it is in Pittsburgh then.
Yes.
Yeah, I got the Steelers. You're giving the Steelers. You're giving the Steelers 3 at home. I'm taking the Steelers 3
Oh
at home.
man.
All these games have been tied. I'm Steelers 3 at home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I wish it was 3.5. God, I'm gonna ride with it. I think it's a field goal game. I think this is a push. I got the Steelers like +3.
Makes me want to go Ravens.
As
Makes
you-
me want to switch that shit.
As you would say,
You know what I'm going to do?
Mine-
Let's go, Lamar. Ravens.
oh, you're
let's go.
switching.
Hell
Okay.
yes, I am.
Yeah.
Because both of you win Steelers. Let's go.
Fuck.
Try to flip it. That's
All right,
fine.
Brad's not going last next time.
Anthony, you go ahead and go. You can flip it if you want. I just
Here,
want
you
my
wanna go
newly
first?
acquired
Packers.
my newly acquired
Packers.
George Pickens to do well.
No, I'm gonna roll with the +3. I like that. I actually think it doesn't matter who we pick. I think it's gonna be a push. So I think it's a field goal game. Ravens win, and it's a push that way. We got the Colts at the Jets. God, the Jets are a fucking mess, man.
And I'm taking them. Jets.
You got the Jets -4.
Jets. Jets. Anthony Richardson
Damn.
sucks. Anthony Richardson sucks. Sorry, Tyler. But I do.
Anthony went a little out of order on me.
He did.
Yeah, my bad.
He's nowhere near the thing. That's why I was like, "What are we doing here, man?"
I'll go back. I'll get back on track
So,
here in a second.
so this was a funny one to me, man. But this is like I feel like a good coming back game for Richardson. I feel like he's gonna ball out. So I'm gonna take not the 40-year-old old man who's gonna get the senior discount. He's gonna get a senior discount to an ass whooping by the Colts.
I'm on the Jets.
There you go. See, we're all different now, Brad. We're 2 games in a row different.
I got the Jets.
I'll get back on track here. Bears are hosting the Packers. The Packers are going to Chicago. 5.5-point favorites are the Packers. I'll take the Packers.
I got the Packers too.
-5.5.
Yep.
It's 5.5. I got it at 5 earlier when I put it on here.
Well,
Yeah,
So it's
I
a
got-
5.5.
I don't. I think
we gotta stick with what we put in here, man, because we're pulling from the same site. Which one are we going with?
it's the same.
It's all a matter of what time he did.
It's what time I did it. So
okay,
if you want to do it at 5, that's fine. We can change the number.
We got it at 5.5. I switched it on the dock. Here we go.
Yeah.
We're rolling. I'm still
Yeah.
Packers.
I don't think it matters if it's 7. I still think the Packers win by at least 10.
Okay.
Jaguars at Lions.
What a line.
13 and well, we'll go off of Brad's 14.
Nope. We're going 13.5. What's on that docket? I'm fixing the other side. Let's go.
I don't think it matters. Trevor Lawrence isn't playing, so it's a pretty easy pick here. I think Detroit.
Give me the Jags.
Oh, God. You really think Mac Jones is going to do something here?
I think they can keep it within 13.
No.
Lions.
Give me the Jags.
I think Montgomery and fucking Gibbons just run all over them.
Browns at Nolans. It's a pick 'em.
It's a cool one. I like these.
It's a pick 'em.
Yeah, it's straight.
Pick 'em. Give me Derek Carr and the Saints.
We're not going in order. I'll let Brad go last so he knows. Give me Kamara, baby. Give me Kamara.
Yeah, I'm Saints. You're
Gonna be
Rams at Patriots.
Ugh.
4.5. This one matches up. 4.5-point favorites. I don't think this line has moved all week. So you got the Rams on the road in New England, 4.5-point favorites. Who's first, Tyler? I'm fucking this order all up. Who's up?
I don't even know who's up.
Rams -4.5. I'll take the Rams -4.5.
I'm gonna follow you on that one.
I'm going Patriots.
Okay. So now be Brad first. Brad's
I'm
taking
first next.
Patriots. He's just trying to
I'm
fuck
first
us.
next.
Everything we
I'm
do, he
first.
goes opposite.
No, not
Raiders?
opposite. I'm the same.
My
No.
Raiders at my Raiders at Brad's Dolphins.
Dolphins.
+7.5.
Dolphins.
So now it's me, Tyler.
Yes.
Give me the Raiders to
Oh,
cover.
fuck yeah.
7.5.
That's another.
The
That's a
Raiders.
Horton, you better be with me or you're fucked.
Dude.
He can't help it.
Raiders.
He
He loves
can't
the
help
Raiders.
himself.
Give me
He can't
motherfucking
help
Miami,
himself.
baby. Give me Miami.
Oh, damn it.
What a dick, dude. What a fucking dick.
Oh,
dude.
man. I'm sorry. Miami.
Vikings traveling to Nashville. 6-point favorites against the Titans.
Give me the Titans.
Oh, he's fucking the order up again.
Oh, hey, you guys are thinking I'm going last, so I was just going. Somebody else
just
go.
going.
Maybe I'll switch.
He's just
Maybe
going.
I'll switch.
Titans. I'll take the Titans also.
God damn it. Go ahead and give me Minnesota.
Perfect.
Oh, you suck.
This is
Next
good.
page, Horton. Next
Titans.
slide.
Give me Minnesota, baby. The Jets gonna do something, maybe. I don't know.
Seahawks.
Oh, this
sorry,
didn't get
Niners?
changed. Hold on. This is wrong.
No, I'll go through it. Yeah, I had to go back to the other one.
Let me while
We
you
got
do that,
this-
I'll fix it.
Yeah, don't trip on it. Seahawks at 49ers. 49ers are 6.5-point favorites. Tyler, you go first.
You don't even need to ask. You already know who
We
I'm
know
picking,
his
baby.
answer.
Niners, 6.5.
Yeah, I already know
Brad,
who I'm picking, brother.
I'm the 49ers.
Me also. 49ers.
Okay.
Falcons.
Am I first next?
You
I don't
are
want to
first
jump in
now.
front. Okay. I'm the Falcons.
first.
There we go. I fix it. It's good.
Fal-
It's good. We're good now. We're good now.
Okay, sweet. Falcons at Broncos, 2.5, 2-point favorites or Denver. Brad's on the Falcons +2. I'm also on the Falcons +2.
Oh boy, give me Knicks, baby. Denver gonna take down the Hawks.
Did you just say give you dicks? That's weird.
Yeah, give me big dicks, big black dicks.
Whoa. Okay, get back on track here. That's
Kansas City at Buffalo.
we're not in our fantasy football chat right now.
Buffalo's a 2.5-point favorite. I'm first here. Buffalo fucking Bills win. And I don't even think it's close. I think the Bills, I'm going to tease this bitch up to 6.5.
You want me to go, Brad?
Sunday when I place the parlay.
I don't
the
care.
Buffalo Bills.
I'm gonna go just so Brad can pick against us. I'm also taking the fucking Bills, baby. No wide receivers or not.
Well, so it just feels like the 2.5. It feels like the Bills are going to win, but it's going to be a 1 or 2 point game. Yeah, I'm gonna go Chiefs because I'm getting the 2.5. I think the Bills win by 1 or 2.
Bengals at Chargers Sunday night. Got flexed to Sunday night. Chargers 1.5-point favorites. Who's first?
I'll take it. Cincinnati, baby. Joe Burrow's playing a different style of football right now.
I am Chargers.
Wow.
He's gonna run into Harbaugh, bro. You've seen that defense?
It's all right. Harbaugh needs one more year. He'll be okay. One more
Okay,
year.
and I'm first.
Harbaugh.
I'm first on the next one, so I'll just go ahead and go.
Texans at Cowboys 7.5 Monday Night
Texans.
Football.
Texans.
Do it. Do it. Oh, damn.
Nah,
You're
I
Do it.
can't. I cannot take the Cowboys. They got no run game. They're so bad, dude. And losing
Hey, Horton.
Dak just hurts. 'em.
Horton, I'm getting way off track. Did you see my video that I sent you guys on the way home?
I did.
I
Did you
not.
see the lady driving in reverse in my neighborhood?
No, I did not. I gotta watch that.
I just wanted to know if it was. I just wanted to know if it was legal in Oklahoma, like I guess it is here. Old girl was literally coming through the neighborhood in reverse. She passed the
Cocaine's a hell of a
school.
drug.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I just, I don't know. I just
Cocaine's
wanted
a
to.
hell of a drug.
Well,
Yeah,
she's got her hazards on.
She got her hazards on. She's
her-
working backwards through the neighborhood, bro.
Her drive, like her drive could have broke. Like I can't remember what it's called on car.
It has to
car
be
guy.
so. No, I know it had to
Had to
be
be
something.
some
But I
weird.
just,
Now she
I
was
was
like
blown away that
fucking
she
hauling
didn't
ass
pull over.
backwards. And yeah, maybe we got some problems, brother.
It's pretty wicked, bro. Pretty wicked.
Hey, so I know we got to cut this thing off, but I do want to ask you guys: are we gonna run this shit up now? We going in tomorrow?
yeah,
Are
man,
we
I'm in.
Are
Whatever.
we? I know. Are we picking two between us three and
Yes.
running this shit up?
Why can we do it right now? Like, what are we liking? We got two. I got a couple minutes, unless you guys got to leave. The drive for me is only about 5.5 minutes, so I got time. What do we like? That's the question. Like, we could talk jelly bean bets here, but
We got college football, dude. Everybody talks sports gambling. It's okay.
yeah, we're not. Like I
The
said,
beans are funny.
We're just telling
I
people we're not
like-
professionals.
I like Texas money line. Obviously, it's a money line situation. I like let me think here. I'm scrolling
Okay,
through
look,
the
dude.
games.
Look, we talk about being 50. You guys are making me look at my phone, bro.
I
And I don't. I gotta put
Get
my
your
freaking.
glasses out
I
now.
gotta put my cheaters on, bro. For
I like
we're gonna do
Texas
this shit.
and Colorado money line.
I don't think I want to bet on Colorado.
Oh.
Scare me.
Oh God,
I'm a big Colorado. I'm a big Colorado, but they scare me.
I'm a big Colorado guy.
I like Boise. I like Boise money line. I like Texas money line. I like Oregon money line.
I like Clemson money line.
No, fuck Clemson. I ain't ever betting on them
You're
again.
gonna do this
Fuck
shit again?
Clemson.
You're gonna pull this
Fuck
shit again?
that team. That team fucked us so hard.
Fuck that team.
Fellas, you gotta look at each week.
I
You gotta move
know.
on.
It just was so
gotta-
fucking
Prisoner of the
annoying.
moment. I'm
You
a
gotta
prisoner
lock
of the
in there.
moment.
They
You like
fucked
South-
me
I like-
everywhere.
I love South Carolina at home against Missouri.
Ballsy.
I do like Boise.
Yeah, I think Boise's a no-brainer.
I love Boise.
You like Boise and Oregon? You
I
guys like
think-
that?
I think going too big, like obviously Ohio State's an obvious one, right? Like
Yeah,
28,
but
but
I mean,
I think that number is going to be ugly though. Like if we go,
yeah, you got to try to keep it like minus 500 and better, in my opinion. Like that's probably like nothing over 550 as far as minus, because then when you put those two together, you're still going to probably come out like negative 200. Like you're still not even going to double
no.
your money, which that's okay. But yeah, I mean, you probably.
Oh
Yeah, I'm
man,
liking.
I'm looking through. Hold on.
Like, I mean, we can go to 3 if we need to.
Mm-mm.
Let me see.
No, stick to 2. Don't get wild.
3's not wild.
So-
Three's normal.
No.
Oh, I didn't see Clemson. Yeah, I like Clemson too.
I love
do too.
Clemson.
Against Pitt. I do too.
Oh, we said we liked Clemson last time.
You can't live in the past, Horton.
Listen,
see.
the past has raped me multiple ways.
But they're in a must-win situation the way I see things. Like they have to win.
Yeah.
They're at Pitt. They have to win. Let's just see what that number looks like with those two. That's minus
Clemson
236.
Clemson and Boise. Is that what
Clemson
that
and
is?
Boise's minus 236.
And
Why don't
if
we
we
throw
go
Oregon
go
in there?
go throw Oregon in there, yeah, that's gives us a 3-legger.
minus 147. Clemson, Boise, and Oregon, all money line.
All right.
I like that.
Trying to see, man.
Turn 75 into 126.
You're
And then
getting
that
minus
we-
147. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I do like that, and that gives us 126 for tomorrow night, or
Well, no,
Saturday,
this
Sunday
would
night.
be-
Sunday night.
this would
Sorry,
be for
Sunday night.
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday. Yeah. So then Sunday we can go through and pick our 2 teams. Or
And
whatever.
Sunday we pick the Dolphins.
This motherfucker.
Uh,
go.
All right, boys. Well, cool. I'll send that in for us. That way it's locked in, and then I'm sure we'll talk some more. So
yeah.
So how many games am I making up this week on Horton? 1, 2, 3,
making
4.
shit
I got
up,
like
man.
5. I'm at 5, Horton. I think I'm gonna make up like 5 on
You
you.
got like 5 games.
hold on. You mean you got like 5 wins? Because that's what
No,
you've been
no,
averaging.
no, well, I'm gonna win the Ravens. Yeah. Yeah, this is looking good this week, fellas. I'm liking this. I might have actually looked at it, to be honest, before we showed up.
Well, let's make sure we clip this one, Horton. 'Cause that way, when he goes fucking
Clip that shit.
6-8 again next week.
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. Clip it,
Well,
because he's definitely not gonna win. That's for
I
sure.
am nervous about the Ravens game because I had the Steelers, but we got to go different than you guys. So we'll see. Plus, I've been all Lamar all year. So we'll see. It's going to be a great week, though.
Yeah. You might as well own it, right? So
Yeah, own it. Let's go.
all right, fellas.
Later,
Guys,
fellas. There's
thanks for
there's
coming in. Check
Modelo
out.
calling my name.
Oh, Modelo. Yeah, I got chocolate cake calling my name. Fat ass over here ready to eat.
I got
Guys,
some,
thanks for coming
yellow
in.
bellies
If you-
in poker tonight.
God, get out of here with that poker shit.
Shove that
Man.
shit to the middle. Let's go.
I want to play,
go.
man. I can't play.
Our
Other than that,
last regular
guys,
season game.
good luck, Anthony. I hope you go win it out. Get
Thanks, brothers.
float yourself into the final table there, win some money. Other than
That's the
that,
goal.
guys, thanks for jumping in. Share, like, follow, ask questions, send comments, whatever. Everything you do just helps us, and we appreciate that. Other than that, y'all have a great night. Be safe. Remember, gambling, you're probably going to lose. Go have fun doing it, and don't be stupid doing
Not
it.
this 3-legger, baby.
Not this
Not this
three-legger, baby!
No.
Send him out. Tyler here,
See you,
Brad,
fellas.
Anthony. Thanks again, guys. Later.
Thank
Later.
you for watching. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we hope you join us again. If you could, please give us a like, subscribe, or follow at any of these social medias right here. And if you have any questions or concerns or something you want to discuss, please send us an email at tiltedpodcast24@gmail.com. Thanks, and have a great day.